Hi, welcome to Girls Night In Online. My name is Lisa Armosky, and I'm going to be showing you my 2-ingredient ice cream today. Don't forget that you're going to need sweetened condensed milk and some heavy whipping cream. If you're doing the vegan version, it is the coconut cream or cream de cocoa and the sweetened condensed coconut milk, which I've got right here. I'm gonna real quick grab some of my stuff out of the fridge. I've been whipping up my creams. We're gonna be swimming in ice cream. Let me adjust my camera here real quick. Let's see. Let me get this nice and big. I am using my mixer today for the one that I'm gonna do, but I'm also gonna show you for your kids how to make it with the shaker and the marbles. One of the cool things is you're kind of gonna get a twofer out of this because you can make whipped cream this way, or you can make butter. I do this every year with my class at Thanksgiving. I have been an educator for over 25 years. I started out in middle school, and now I exclusively work with pre-K and absolutely love it. Go ahead and get your ingredients ready, and I'm going to go ahead, for those of you that are going to do our shake method, I'm going to get y'all started. This is a twist top lid container, because you got to make sure that your lid fits really, really well. I have just some plain glass marbles in here. I just throw them in the dishwasher and they get clean. And I'm going to go ahead and put my pint of heavy whipping cream right in here. Now, if you've got more than one kid, if you divide it up into a couple of containers, it actually whips even faster, kind of the more air you've got. We're going to screw this lid on, and the best lids, we all know, sometimes fail us. So I like to get some plastic wrap, and I just wrap it right around the top. And I seal it up so that if anything messes up, you've got this. So I'm going to hand this off to my little girl, who's not that little anymore. And she's going to go shake that up so I can show you that it really does work in the end. If you've got a little one with you, if they want to start shaking now, they can. Bigger kids, you can start them on a whisk to make whipped cream. If you've ever made whipped cream from scratch, you know that it doesn't really take that long and it tastes so much better. So I'm going to get us started with, this is my heavy whipping cream that I whipped earlier in the mixer. I'm going to make just a plain vanilla. The base, although you don't need anything, because really and truly the thing that makes ice cream is if you use sweetened condensed milk. This is that flavor that just feels like summer. So to my whipped cream, I'm going to put it on fold because we don't want to take out any of the air that we put in. Because I want to make vanilla, I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla. You can also, if you want to make chocolate, add some cocoa powder. One of the requests from my daughter was to make honey and goat cheese. It's one of her favorite flavors from a local Austin place called Lick. You can add some cookies to make cookies and cream. I have macerated strawberries, which are great. Which brings me to another point. When you're making ice cream with kids, when you're doing anything with kids in the kitchen, it's a really enriching experience. Cooking with kids is math. It is language, because you use words like macerated, which means to pull all the juices out with sugar. It is an excellent activity for teaching kids about delayed gratification. So making them wait a little bit, kind of understanding that if you put in the work, you get the reward on the other side. So I'm going to add a little bit of my vanilla. And it's your ice cream, so nobody cares how much vanilla you add, but again, you don't have to have any flavor. Just going to put it on fold, and I'm going to stream in my sweetened condensed milk. which again, really and truly is what makes ice cream in the summertime. And for the 4th of July weekend, this is like the perfect time. You could even make red, white, and blue ice cream. You could do a blueberry ice cream and a strawberry ice cream and a vanilla ice cream, kind of a spin on a Neapolitan, which I think would be really delicious. So you just stream that in there. Now, once it's all incorporated, which doesn't really take that long, you're kind of done. Which I know we've all grown up with the big ice cream machines and having to add the rock salt. But by whipping the whipped cream, you're kind of replacing that churning because you're aerating your ice cream base without having to do all that extra work. So you put it in a container like this. I really like using glass containers. This is the batch we made last night of our fresh strawberry, or fresh vanilla. I really like using those because the glass doesn't hold flavor. But these I just bought special for this, so we're sure that we're not going to get any contamination with the flavor. Let me grab another spatula. So I'm going to make 2 different kinds of ice cream with my base. I'm going to pour 1/2 of this in here. And it's a little soupy. It's kind of like soupy whipped cream at this point because the sweetened condensed milk loosened it up. But I'm going to add my macerated strawberries. Let me lift this up so you guys can see. I'm going to pour those in. One of the things I really like about using any kind of fruit like this is you're going to get all that fruit juice. And kids love to chop up fruit. It's a fantastic thing for them to do. I love strawberries. You could do bananas. Bananas freeze so beautifully and make a great ice cream. Now, you decide this is your ice cream. I'm just going to kind of swirl it in here. But if you mix it up all the way, you'll get a lovely strawberry flavored ice cream. And who doesn't like strawberries and cream? I mean, that's my favorite. And then all you have left to do is pop it in the freezer. A good 6 hours is going to get you kind of a nice soft serve ice cream consistency. And then the other half, I'm going to go ahead and make for my other daughter. I have twins who are so alike. I'm going to make some cookies and cream. Again, this is another great thing for kids to get to do, because what kid wouldn't like to get a Ziploc bag full of cookies and mash them up? I mean, destruction is like a kid's middle name, right? So put these in a Ziploc bag. You can give them something to like a little plastic hammer, or they can just break them up on their own. Add these in here, and we'll stir that up. And so in, what, 10 minutes, we've made homemade strawberry ice cream and homemade cookies and cream ice cream. That easy. The worst part is you have to wait now for it to set up. But in this day and age, you never know when you're going to come across a kid that has a food allergy, someone who is vegetarian or vegan, and is intentionally trying to avoid dairy products. So I'm going to rinse these off real quick. The sign of a good cook is someone who always cleans up their workspace. I always talk about that with kids. You need to clean up as you go. I love having a trash bowl so that kids can dump things in the trash bowl and you're not having them run around, because sometimes when a kid leaves where you're working, that's the end of it. So I made some, oh, look at this. My daughter has returned, and I'm going to show you. Let's see if you can get a good view on that. Let me get a spoon out. In about 10 minutes of shaking, we've got some really luscious whipped cream to make another batch of ice cream with. I love setting some music and having a dance party. My class loves to do this too. I like to Move It from Madagascar. It's a great song to get them up there and shaking. It's a great way to get a little bit of physical exercise in, and nobody realizes that's what you're doing. So back to our coconut ice cream. If you'll get the cream de cocoa, which is basically coconut fat, but it's not like the coconut fat you use for frying. It comes in a little can. And you put it in your, just the fat, not the liquid that's in the can. And you whip it just like you would whip regular ice cream. Now, I already added a little bit of the liquid to it because we are making ice cream. I added a little bit of the liquid to it. I'm going to put this back on here. And they are now making sweetened condensed coconut milk. So it's basically the exact same recipe. I will tell you that the coconut ice cream is going to freeze a little bit harder than the dairy ice cream. So again, working on that delayed gratification. If you go ahead and put this out on the counter for 10 or 15 minutes to kind of thaw before you serve it up, you're going to get a much happier kid, because otherwise it's going to be hard to spoon. So I'm going to turn this back on, and we're going to just pour in our sweetened condensed coconut milk. This is special for my mom, who is a coconut fiend. I don't think she ever met coconut that she didn't like. We're going to actually do kind of an almond joy, but we decided at my house we're going to leave the nuts out and just use that for a topping. I've got some mixed nuts for topping because we have a difference of opinion as to what kind of nut makes the best nut. So you just mix that really, really gently. Does not take long at all. Done with these now, so I can go throw those in my sink. Now I'm adding, I've got a mixture of big and little chocolate chips. You could add marshmallows. You could add absolutely anything you wanted. We're going to do the chocolate chips, and then just to make it extra coconut, I have some toasted coconut that we're going to fold in as well. So we're just going to add that. This would be great to add some pineapple to, kind of give it a pina colada flair. Any kind of tropical vibe would be great for this. So you just mix it up. Got my chocolate chips, my coconut, and we're going to add it right into our container, just like we did with the other ice creams. Boom. And in a few hours, we'll have some yummy coconut ice cream. Let's see. All right, so we've made strawberry ice cream, cookies and cream ice cream, vegan coconut chocolate chip ice cream, and it's 3:15 my time, 4:15 your time. And don't forget, we did this. Now, I'm going to tell you what to do if you want to make butter, because that's a super fun activity with kids. Believe it or not, if you were to keep shaking this, even though you can't hear the marbles anymore, it's still going to churn. You keep shaking it until you start to hear the marbles again. What's going to happen is the butter solids, or the butter fats, are going to separate out from the butter milk. You keep shaking until you get really thick, chunky clumps of butter. You can pour the buttermilk off and use it to make pancakes, biscuits, anything that you want. It's just like what you would buy at the grocery store. You can either leave the butter unsalted or add a little bit of salt. I've actually got some butter that we made earlier right here. It is Absolutely perfect butter, just like what you would get at the store, except we made it ourselves, and then we made pancakes. So how much better could that possibly be? Now, I told you about making the chocolate. So I'm going to show you real quick, because the chocolate is a little bit tricky, just because if you don't mix the cocoa powder just right, you kind of get like a mixture of chocolate ice cream or chocolate whipped cream, and then the sweetened condensed milk. So I'm going to try to make sure I get all my marbles out of here. Hopefully I haven't lost all of my marbles staying inside. You know, with 4th of July coming up, everybody's missing getting to go out and see their friends and all the big 4th of July celebrations. So making some ice cream just kind of, it's that little bit of normalcy that we're all kind of missing. So I'm going to put that back in there. And I'm just going to use my whisk this time. So I've got my cocoa powder. I like dark chocolate. Not everybody does, so you can use the cocoa powder of your choice. I usually put, not going to lie, about 3 or 4, because I like really intense dark chocolate. And the thing about this recipe is it makes almost like a gelato more than just an ice cream. But it's really important that you get all of that incorporated. So if you see, I'm getting the chocolate in there, and even though it looked like a lot of cocoa powder when I was putting it in there, it's not crazy. It's not a crazy amount. Gonna add 1 more container of my sweetened condensed milk. I'm so glad I have teenagers in my house, because this is entirely too much ice cream for one person to have to eat, even if it is the 4th of July. Just like we've done before. I mean, come on. Sweetened condensed milk, it really is. That's what makes ice cream ice cream. There we go. We add it in there. And you just kind of mix it up. Stir, stir, stir. And now I've got this lovely, all mixed together, incorporated chocolate ice cream, which you can't, I mean, what's better than chocolate? So I'm going to take a look. Did anybody have any questions? Anything about cooking with the kids? The shaker method? Let's see. Can you make an ice cream cake with this recipe? Yeah, you could totally make an ice cream cake. Actually, one of the things that I wanted to try is making ice cream sandwiches, like make some homemade cookies. You would basically let this, if you're doing a cake, you can go ahead and pour it in like this. If you're going to make ice cream sandwiches, I would let it set up halfway. So give it 2-3 hours till it's a little bit firm, and then stick it back in the freezer after you've made your sandwiches to harden up the rest of the way. If you want to layer the flayers, would you layer it before freezing? It depends on how stiff your whipped cream is. A really stiff whipped cream, you probably are going to have enough body that you could layer things. But some of these, just, you know, depending on how eager your little beaver is to keep their shaking, if it's a softer whipped cream, you're probably going to want to let it set up just a little bit. Can you just use fresh fruit for an ingredient? The strawberries that I put in there were strawberries that I cut up earlier today. I just added about 2 tablespoons of sugar, and I let them sit on the counter so that all of their juices would run out, because I wanted that strawberry flavor to be in the whole ice cream, not just in, you know, where I got the strawberries. Let's see. Let's see, can you put it into the popsicle molds? Yes, you could totally make popsicles with this, but again, because it sets up really hard, it's gonna be a little bit harder to get out. You can dip it in a little bit of hot water to help it release, but it would definitely make great ice pops. I think the coconut, because I've made a couple of different coconut popsicles in the past using the coconut cream. I think the coconut would probably be one of the better as just a true popsicle. Do you know nutrition-wise how this compares with the store-bought ice cream? Here's my philosophy when it comes to diet, and in particular cooking with kids. Real food is always okay. I like to make this in small batches. I mean, this is not enough ice cream to get anybody in trouble. And it takes a little bit of time to do. It is a higher fat because you're using the heavy whipping cream and you're using the sweetened condensed milk. But again, you're controlling the quality of those ingredients. So you can choose all organic. And we're talking about a fun treat for a 4th of July. So again, if you're willing to put the time to make some ice cream, have this. This usually lasts me and my 2 girls. This is about 2 servings apiece. So again, nobody's going to be in trouble getting 2 servings of ice cream in a given week. And then you wait a few weeks before you make some more. So I appreciate all of you for showing up today.